Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a current favorites. It's not necessarily like a fall specific favorites or a monthly favorites. If you guys recall, my very first video after coming back to YouTube was a favorites video, and since then I've been trying quite a few products. I've found a lot that I really like, but then there are a couple misses as well. So hopefully you guys like this video. That was very cheerleader-esque. Ready? I regretted doing that as it was happening, as you just witnessed. Okay, let's just start. My first favorite are these e.l.f. glitter liners. I can't remember the actual name. I think they're like Stardust or something like that, glitter eyeliners. And they come in 4 shades, which I have all 4, but these are the 2 that I really love. As you guys may know, I love the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liners. Those are like, I said this so many times, but they're the easiest way to work with glitter. They allow you to apply it as a liner, or if you want to brush it all over the lid, you can as well. I love them so hard, like, seriously. So when e.l.f. sent me these, I had such low expectations, like beyond low. I was like, these are going to be so lame, but they're actually really good. I love these 2 shades. This is Shimmering Gold, which is actually more along the lines of a copper. And then we have Seafoam, which is an iridescent one that I have on my lower lash line to emphasize that green. And then this one I did a little bit on the lid, just a little bit, and then a little tiny bit on the inner corner as well. These aren't quite as impactful as the Urban Decay ones. Those are like wham bam glitter, but these are more of just like, they boost up any kind of shimmer. They add a little bit more accent and a little bit more light to your eyes, which is why I like working with glitter in general. They're not quite to the caliber of the Urban Decay ones, but if you were wanting to try something along these lines for super cheap, I would recommend these. You guys, I was just about to grab, so I have a bunch of eyeshadow palettes I want to talk about. One of them, spoiler alert, is Tartelette Toasted, but I just knocked it down. This whole shadow fell out and it didn't shatter. I am like beyond impressed right now. I can't even believe that. And it just like plopped right back in. That's freaking amazing. Okay, so one of my favorites is the Tartelette Toasted palette. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I was so pumped when this palette was announced that it was going to come out, because Tartelette in Bloom is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. However, there are a couple shades in there that are on the cooler side that I never ever touch. Actually, 3 of them I think I just don't ever use. So when they announced they were going to come out with a warm palette, I was so excited. And then when I got it, I was just really underwhelmed by it. Like, I was like, oh, I mean, it's alright, but I don't like love it. So it's been sitting in my collection for like a year, and then I pulled this out recently as I've come back to YouTube just to like try to get myself into things again. And I actually really like this palette. It's a great palette of warm tones. I mean, it's not anything like you've never seen before, but I love the Tartelette formula in general. I think it's a great formula. The shimmers and metallics are really like pigmented and smooth, and the mattes are amazing. I know the reason that I didn't love this palette was because it didn't have my perfect gold shade. I'm kind of snooty when it comes to like, why doesn't every palette not have the perfect gold shade for me? Only for me. I don't care about anyone else. So that's why I was like meh about this before, but now that I've been playing with it a lot more, giving it more of a shot, I really do enjoy it. I have another e.l.f. palette that I've really been loving. I did use a couple shades of this. I kind of tried to dip into all these palettes a little bit today. This is the e.l.f. Modern Metals palette. This is one of their newer collections. So it's half matte and half shimmer. But what I like most about this palette is that it's got quite a unique mix of colors. Like these mattes here, I like that they have a mustard in here, and this kind of terracotta color is a little bit different from the ones that you typically see. And oh no, the clouds are shifting. All the shimmers have a very consistent formula, I think. They're really pretty, and I just really enjoy this palette. I think they did a really great job. So that's Modern Metals. And lastly, for 2 palettes that I've really been enjoying are these that I used in my palette bingo video, which not a lot of people liked, I guess, or didn't even want to watch. But if you want to, you know, you can go watch it, because the views are really low and it makes me kind of sad. But anyway, it's not a big deal. These are the 2 palettes that I used in that video, and I have been loving them. I've been using them for a few months now. So So this is the Born to Run palette. I'm sure you guys have all seen this. I really enjoy the color palette that they picked with this. I think it's different enough where it's not like, oh, I've seen all these colors before. I do like the looks that you can get out of this. It's just a really well done palette in my opinion. The only thing that I really miss in this palette is just like a matte cream color, but beyond that I think they did a really good job, and I think it's a wearable palette for everybody, but you can also do some kind of cooler fun looks as well. And the other one, the Elements palette, this one just makes me happy because it's got such cool colors in it and the formula is really well done. So here are the shades. I just love it. They're almost all shimmery though. Like, this is not a palette that I would take traveling, not only because it's like big and bulky, but because there are 3 mattes in here, 3 mattes, and you know, it's just not the most practical palette, but we all have a ton of neutral palettes, I'm sure. So if you want something fun to use, you can pull out and use this in accompaniment with anything else. I really like this. Plus, I love the design and the packaging. Bulky, but really pretty. So a lot of you have been wanting a brow routine, but I have been still on the hunt for like the perfect brow gel because I don't want a tinted one. And I don't think clear mascara quite does the job. Like, I want a really good clear brow gel, and I've used a ton from the drugstore. I've used a lot that have come in like my BoxyCharms and stuff, but e.l.f. sent me this one. This is from their Active line. It's actually a duo product. The other side, I hate. It's like half miss and half hit. This has a sweat resistant mascara on one side and a sweat resistant clear brow gel on the other. I love this brow gel. I think this is definitely my current favorite. It's got the tiniest little brush that's dirty because I really do use it. It holds my brows in place without making them feel crunchy. I know it's a big thing that people always say. I don't really care if my brows are crunchy because it's not something that I feel very strongly about, but in case that's something for you, this doesn't give you a crunchy brow. However, the other side is a mascara. First of all, I have to use waterproof mascara or the curl just dies, and obviously I'm wearing falsies today, so it doesn't really matter, but I use this on my bottom lashes and I have never experienced a mascara quite like this before. It's like, it's not wet and clumpy, it's not too dry, it's sticky. Like, the formula just, it's sticky and like tacky. It's the weirdest thing, and so I don't like it, but it's fine because the other side, it's $6 as a total. So after I ran out of this, they did send this to me, but I would definitely repurchase it because I really do like the brow gel. This next product is a concealer that's been super hyped up and I was a little wary of, but I actually really do like it. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour. So this is a supposed dupe for Tarte Shape Tape. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's the same as I don't think it's the same as Shape Tape at all. I love Shape Tape, and I think that I like it because it is full coverage, but it's a light and it's actually a drier formula. I don't find this to be dry. I feel like the actual formula of it, like texture-wise, actually has like some moisture to it. Beyond being a dupe though, I really do like this. This is the shade C2. It's maybe 1 shade lighter than my skin tone. You guys already know how I feel about my camera, but this is a really good concealer. It's affordable and I really like it. I think the hype is worth it. Next up, I have the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. I'm sure you guys have heard plenty about this. I just want to speak on it briefly. This does not extend like the longevity of my makeup. However, if your face is looking like a little bit powdery, a little bit too cakey, if products are sitting on the surface of your skin and not really like melting in, if you know what I mean, I feel like that's what this is made for. I would not use this like during the summer when I need something like long wearing, or if I'm going to be like sweating. This is not the one I would pick. However, in the colder months, or just when my face is having that not so great look and I want something that's going to help almost blend everything a little bit better, this is really nice. And of course, as everyone says, that continuous mist is really fine, like the finest mist out of all of mine for sure, and I really like it. So for that purpose, I do think this is really great, and it does it better than anything else that I've tried. I have a few skincare products I want to talk about today, one of which I used before I did my makeup today, and I was like, yes, I love this thing. It's super expensive though. This is the Dr. Brandt Microdermabrasion Age Defying Exfoliator. Now, this is a product that I feel like a lot of people have talked about on YouTube. It's it's pricey, but I was lucky enough to get it in a boxy charm, which was like so awesome. This is the finest exfoliator as you can imagine, but it just makes your skin feel so smooth. So smooth, and it was just, it creates like the perfect palette, and it just feels so nice, and I just enjoy the experience of this. It just makes your skin feel like baby butt. This next product is also another exfoliating product. Keep in mind, I use them regularly but not often because you don't want to be too harsh with your skin, but this is the Glamglow Youthmud Tinglexfoliate Treatment, and this is actually a mask that you apply and you let set for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you rub in circles when you rinse it off, and it just, oh my gosh, this too, I love a good exfoliator. I do have to give a warning about this one though, just because the first time I used it, I felt like a slight tingle, but nothing like that I would write home about. However, the second time I used this, it burned like a mother. I don't know why. What was different? I don't know. But it was not like intolerable. I wasn't like, I don't know what that was. But it wasn't like intolerable, as I was saying, like a sane person earlier, but it's something to note. So if you have sensitive skin, I maybe would not choose this one, but then I will say the next couple times I tried it, it wasn't a problem either. Take that all with a grain of salt. This next product is from Badescu. This is the facial spray with olive, cucumber, and green tea. And as you can see, I've used a lot of this. But for the first, like, I don't know, months that I was using this and trying it, I was like, I don't understand what the point of this is. Like, I just don't. It's just like spraying your face with scented water, and I don't see any benefits from it. However, in the past month, I decided to start using this again, and I love it now, and I'm just confused. Maybe it's because my skin is like a little bit drier at the moment, but when I feel like my skin feels like a little bit tight, whether I have makeup on or if it's clean skin, it feels like it needs something. When I spray this on, my skin feels like rejuvenated and moisturized. I don't know. I mean, I guess this has a specific purpose if you have dry skin, but if you don't, then I don't really know what this is supposed to do, but I've really been enjoying it. Okay, so let's move on to a few products that I don't quite love. So while I did love this little guy, I do not like this big guy. This is the accompanying Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. I wanted to love this so bad, you guys, and I just cannot. I've tried it like 4 times in all different ways trying to make it work for me, and I just cannot. This is the shade 6.5, which is far into the numbering system, right? And this is actually too light for me. They need to like figure that out because that's very confusing. Like, this is 2, and this is like actually only maybe 1 shade lighter, which I wanted for a concealer. This is 6.5 and it's too light for me. I was so excited about this, you guys. Like, really, I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. I've seen such good reviews on it, and it made pores appear on my face that I did not know could even be accentuated. Like, obviously I knew that they were there, but I'd never seen them so visually in your face. Pores down here. I didn't even know that that could be a thing. Like, around your nose is, I think, like normal as far as products maybe accentuating pores, and even on your cheeks, but like on, like, it was literally like these portions of, and like right, it was, I don't understand. This broke down really fast on me. It sunk into lines that I didn't even know I had. I was just like, what is happening? Coverage with a sponge is not great, but with a brush, I really liked the coverage at that level. So obviously I tried it that way, and then I tried it with a brush, and then I tried mixing it with other foundations, but the thing is, there's nothing in this that makes it like worth it to me to mix it in with something else. Like, it's, the shade isn't good for me, the formula doesn't really love my face. The applicator is this ginormous doe foot, or as Emily Noel calls it, the buck foot, which isn't the easiest applicator to use when you're mixing it with something else. So overall, I was just so disappointed. I was so excited, and then it was just like, why is this so terrible on my face? So that was a bummer. Okay, the next miss for me, okay, I tried to film this video yesterday, and it was an off day. It was just not working, so I stopped. But I had the palette that I wanted to talk about yesterday, and now I can't freaking find it. I don't know what happened to it. So if I can find it, I will like insert the swatches, not that you're gonna want to see them, but maybe it'll explain like why I feel this way. It's the e.l.f. Chromatic eyeshadow palette. They did send me both colors. They're out of stock on the website currently, so at this point it's like, I just don't think you should waste your time. But the shade Posh Peacock is the one that I tried. And you guys know I love greens and I really love teals, and so this palette has these shades in it. When I was swatching them, they felt like dry and like too densely packed. I wasn't getting a lot of payoff, but I was like, well, maybe it'll perform differently on the eyes. It didn't. I had such high hopes. It was a really cool palette. It has one duochromatic kind of minty shade in it. The matte teal in there is not bad. It was one of those palettes where I was like, I wouldn't even give this a second go because it was just not worth it. I wouldn't waste your money on it, so that was just really disappointing. And the last disappointing product is, I'm sorry for my Shop Miss A fans, but it's this sponge. This has such rave reviews. I've heard so many good things on YouTube, and then on the website there are so many good reviews too. I did use it today a little bit, like for my concealer and stuff, and it's too big for me. I am laughing like a schoolgirl, but it's not right for me, and it's just too big. It's squishy, and it does the job if you want it to, but it's too big for me. I prefer, I don't love the Beauty Blender, but the size of that is what I prefer. It's just, look, I mean, yeah, I need something smaller. But I do love the fact that when you buy this, a portion of it does go to animal charity, which is nice. So that's the upside of buying this product. Now I have one fashion favorite, and it's so simple, and I've talked about these a couple times now I think, but these are the Forever 21 t-shirts that I did style a couple of these in my fall lookbook, and I did show them, I think it was in my last haul, but they're literally just like plain t-shirts. Like you wouldn't think anything of them, but I love them. It's not like they're the most amazing things ever. They're $5.90. Well, that's pretty amazing. They're so soft, and they're slightly cropped. So if I want to show like a belt, or if I want to tuck this into something high-waisted, it's not like a lot of fabric, or if I want to just like have like the waistband of my jeans show, or I love wearing these with joggers. I just love the fit and the cut on me, and they're really soft and they're really cheap. So I thoroughly enjoy these. I will link them down below. I have a jewelry favorite, and it's just Rocksbox in general. Now, you guys know I've talked about them before. They're a jewelry service. This is not sponsored. They have a $21, are you really gonna garden right now? That was like the quickest gardening job I've ever heard / seen. But anyway, so Rocksbox is a jewelry service. I've talked about it before, but you get 3 pieces at a time in your set. Keep it for however long you want, whether it be a couple days for an event or months and months, like I told you guys on Instagram that the reason I haven't been talking about it, not only because I've been gone from YouTube, but also because I had my last set since June. So I finally got my butt to the post office to turn in my set. All the rings apart from this one that I always wear. I've literally worn this since I was like, I don't know, like 13, 14, something ridiculous. But all these rings are from Rocksbox. I purchased these 2 from a previous set. These ones are from my current set. I love the necklaces that I've gotten. I've purchased 2 necklaces and so many rings. So many rings. I get a lot of questions about where I get my dainty layering, stacking rings, and like 75% of them are from Rocksbox, and I just really enjoy the service. So I do have a code for 1 month free for you guys to try it out. If you don't like it, cancel it. I really love it. I genuinely love the service, so if you guys want to check it out, feel free to. Okay, and to wrap it up, I do have a couple TV related favorites. So if you guys have any TV recommendations for me, I feel like you guys know my preferences pretty well. So if you have anything, leave it in the comments. But I am late to the game, but Red Table Talk on Facebook is awesome. It's Jada Pinkett Smith, her daughter Willow, and her mother, whose name I do not know off the top of my head, but I will put it here if no. Why? But it's really awesome. They talk about like real life stuff, things that they haven't talked to each other about before. They have guests on. It's mainly Jada Pinkett Smith when there are guests, but she's had Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. She's had Gabrielle Union. But it's really nice to see a glimpse into like just the real person behind like the celebrity face, I guess. The episodes with Will Smith are really fun and funny, but also real, and so I just really have been enjoying those. Then the other favorite, totally on a different spectrum, is a TV show on NBC, I believe, called Midnight Texas. I binge watched the whole first season on Hulu, and the second season just is airing now. But it's a really bizarre, like, little show of, like, I don't want to say monsters, but there's, like, a werewolf and a vampire and that kind of stuff. The main character's name is Manfred, and he's, like, a psychic. So it's a really cool little show with a lot of quirky characters. It's based on a book. I didn't realize that until after I had started watching the show. It's just like a fun escape from reality, but I think the characters are all very likable. So if you're looking for a new, somewhat supernatural type show, that's one to give a shot. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys could see how hard I am clamping my hands right now, look, they're literally turning red.
I don't know why I do that. Whenever you guys see me like doing, it's usually because I'm like grabbing. You guys didn't need to know that, but the more you know.
I apologize about the gardening in the background. Did not know that was going to happen, and that's really annoying, so I'm sorry about that. But if there are any products that you would like me to try or favorites that you really, really like, leave them in the comments below, because I've been thinking about doing like one of those like subscribers favorites type videos. I'm not really sure. I'll take to Instagram if I do decide to do that. If you guys have any video requests, please leave them below as well. What else? If any of the products that I did not care for, if you happen to have suggestions or what fixes for them, leave those in the comments below as well. But I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!